Ryder is the new United States champion. John Morrison, you're a loser. If you were a winner, you'd be Zack Ryder. But you're not, because you aren't, because you can't, because Zack Ryder owns you. He owns everything you do. You little punch. You're a loser, John Morrison. Now, I'm going to go get shit-faced and celebrate my boy Zack Ryder winning the United States Championship. Woo, woo, woo. You know it. Sorry for that. Well, I'm back. That's right. This is shintigercurl, that dude in the Christmas hat, here to present you with yet another wrestling review. Forgive me for not posting any videos. I'm just getting over a bad cold. So, now I'm back, and you know it, and today is Sunday. You know what that means? Time for some pay-per-view wrestling. What pay-per-view? Why, WWE's TLC pay-per-view. It's the last pay-per-view of the year. How's the WWE going to close out the year so far? Well, I got my notes. Let's get started. We open, of course, with, as Joe just mentioned, and very excitably, that the first match is Zack Ryder versus Dolph Ziggler for the United States title. This was actually a pretty good opener. Say what you want about Zack Ryder's in-ring abilities. He's a good worker. He can work a very good match when given the opportunity. And of course, Dolph Ziggler, well, he's impeccable in the ring. This is a very back and forth matchup, and these two have been going back and forth on each other, not just on TV, but on YouTube and Twitter and pretty much every bit of social media you can ever know. At one point, Vickie Guerrero was ejected out of the match for her interference, leading into a one-on-one contest. But in the end, one Rough Rider later, Zack Ryder, the Long Island IZ, the kid from the Long Island, the woo-woo-woo kid himself, is the new United States champion, with his father in the front row. I gotta say, kudos to you, Zack Ryder. If you told me 6 months ago that Zack Ryder would be a United States champion, I'd say you're crazy, and retarded, and high. But now, the man who got himself over with a little internet show and a small video camera is now the United States champion. So, you earned it. You earned it, my friend. You earned it. Next up, Air Boom defends their titles for the first time in a few months against the team of Primo and Epico. Now, unless you watch Superstars, you would not know about this feud between these two teams. Primo, as you know, is Primo Colon, Carlito's younger brother, and Epico, billed as Primo's cousin. I'm not sure if this is real, and I'm not sure that's kayfabe or not, but they have excellent teamwork, so I like them. This is a pretty standard high-flyer and tag team match, but in the end, Air Boom retains. Next up, Randy Orton versus Wade Barrett, tables match. Now this was a very shorter table match than I ever thought possible. But it was a very back and forth matchup. The psychology in this match was excellent. The two of them wanted to literally beat the hell out of each other, but they kept holding back because you never know when or how you're going to go through a table in this kind of match. And there were tables everywhere. The two didn't have all the best luck at last year's TLC, especially Randy. The last table match he was in was between himself and The Miz, and that kind of ended badly for him. And Wade ended up getting buried by chairs by CENA. So there's that. Well, despite how short it was, the end comes when Orton is laid out on the table in the ring. Wade goes for an elbow and eats an RKO on the way down. Kind of anticlimactic, but hey, more chances for Randy to do epic RKOs on somebody. So it's a thumbs up for me. Next up, Beth Phoenix versus the queen of the roll-up, Kelly Kelly, for the Divas title. This was not a very good matchup. Not to say that Beth Phoenix is bad, it's just that Kelly's offense and arsenal and in-ring abilities are lacking. They're basic, if anything. I prefer to watch Eve Mendez wrestle than Kelly Kelly, because Eve, her arsenal is actually getting better. I mean, she said she is a big MMA freak, and it's been showing in her ring work lately. She's been losing a lot of submissions lately. But yeah, long story short, Beth retains. So I'm happy. Next up, all throughout the night, Booker T was preparing for his match against Cody Rhodes for the Intercontinental title, but the 2 times they did show him, he kept getting jumped by Cody Rhodes. So we're not even sure at that point if the match is going to happen. Next up, Triple H versus Kevin Nash, sledgehammer ladder match. There is a sledgehammer hanging above the ring. You know this is not going to be good. Needless to say, this was not a good match. This is to the WWE what Hogan Sting was to TNA. A match between 2 senior wrestlers that nobody wanted to see wrestle ever again, especially in this match type. But to his credit, Triple H tried his ass off in this match. He carried this match from start to finish, because as much as people love Kevin Nash, he cannot go in the ring anymore, especially a ladder match. He was slow, prodding. His offense consisted of nothing but elbows and knees, and he just didn't make that all much of an impression. Pretty much it was Triple H beating his ass, and of course Triple H got the sledgehammer and of course beat him within an inch of his life. So of course Nash wasn't going to go over on Triple H. What do you expect, Nash? You got a pop for being in a battle royal for 5 minutes. Triple H fought The Undertaker for over 40 minutes in one of the best matches of the year at WrestleMania. Needless to say, don't watch this match. Next up, in a nice filler match, Jack Swagger takes on Sheamus. I've always enjoyed Jack Swagger Sheamus matchups because there's always something new to this match. Sheamus always with his bulldozing, brawling style, and Swagger's more technical style. At one point, Swagger actually tried to attack his leg to set him up for the ankle lock, but it wasn't enough. Sheamus wins. Next up, Big Show versus Mark Henry, chairs match for the World Heavyweight title. This was also a very short match, as at the beginning, Big Show was just throwing chairs in the ring, showing how serious he was for this match. Mark Henry wasn't having none of that and tried to leave, but Big Show brought him back in. After a short amount of wrestling and scuffling, and after Big Show injured his hand, he hits the knockout blow and ends the reign of terror that is Mark Henry's title run, becoming World Heavyweight Champion. But it was short-lived, because after that, Mark Henry attacked him and knocked him out, and it was prime time for Daniel Bryan, the American Dragon, to slide in the ring, pick the bones, cash in his Money in the Bank title, and become World Heavyweight Champion. You heard me. Daniel Bryan is the new World Heavyweight Champion. And gloriously, for 5 minutes, Michael Cole had nothing to say. Nothing at all. There's nothing more I can say. That's just a great moment. I don't care how long his reign lasts. The fact that Michael Cole can't say shit about him now is enough for me. Next up, Cody Rhodes and Booker T finally get it on for the Intercontinental title. This was actually a very, very solid matchup. Very, very good. Cody Rhodes was on fire tonight. He was getting a lot of heel heat from the crowd, and he was on his point in the game. I mean, in the ring. And Booker T was no slouch. He may be up there in years, but he still got it. His movements were fluid. His strikes were effective, and he was just on his game. And he sold that head injury that he had from Cody Rhodes' attacks very well. But in the end, of course, Cody retains. Next up, Alberto Del Rio, The Miz, CM Punk battle for the world champion, for the world title in the first ever triple threat TLC match. Now, this for me was match of the night. I mean, you had some epic storytelling in the ring. You had Miz and Alberto Del Rio not sure if they could trust each other. You had Alberto Del Rio going aggro on people. You had Miz pulling out some very vicious shit. You had Punk doing what Punk does best, and that's be awesome. There were some great moments in this match. At one point, Punk went to go get the title, but Ricardo Rodriguez slipped into the ring and handcuffed him to a ladder. Punk actually broke the ladder getting out, but still had the handcuffs on him. Again, Ricardo Rodriguez attempted to go for the belt and ate going through a table. Poor Ricardo. And then at one point, Miz handcuffs CM Punk to one of the turnbuckles. Punk was able to kick him and knock him out for a little bit, but he wasn't able to get out, so he did the next best thing. He broke the turnbuckle apart, taking it apart with his bare hands and rejoining the fray. Needless to say, CM Punk retained the world title in a great match. So let's see. Zack Ryder is the new United States champion. Daniel Bryan is the world heavyweight champion. CM Punk is the world heavyweight champion. No John Cena. This was a great pay-per-view. I'm giving it a thumbs up. I mean, the only two matches I would suggest skipping is the ladder match and the Divas match. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed this pay-per-view. Even Hornswoggle couldn't bring it down for me. So that's my verdict. Thumbs up. WWE, you closed out the year in a good way, with the right people going over on the right people. But still, a D-Cell Battery Award has to go to someone. And this one goes to the Sledgehammer Ladder match. That was torture. I'm not saying it's bad because Triple H really busted his ass to try to make this one not suck, but it still was pretty sucky because Kevin Nash cannot work a match, especially a ladder match. It's just not possible for him. This was, like I said, this was WWE's Hogan Sting. The only thing that keeps it from being that way is the fact that it was for no titles or it wasn't a main event. And also, I'm also gonna debut my new award that I call the Jizz Your Pants Award. And this one goes to Daniel Bryan winning the world title. If you told me by the end of the year that CM Punk and Daniel Bryan would be staying atop the WWE universe as world champions, again, I would say that you're a liar, and you're stupid, and you're retarded, and you're high, and you're drunk, and a various amongst other mental states that I would say that you're in. But now, I can smile brightly as the straight edge savior and the American Dragon, two ROH alumni, stand atop the WWE universe. And what's more, Daniel Bryan has become the first NXT rookie to ever become a world champion. And that's saying something, considering that he was one of the first two eliminated from the first season, and Wade Barrett had a title shot and he didn't even win. So, Daniel Bryan, you made me jizz my pants for you, my friend. Well, that's the WWE TLC. Tune in tomorrow when we see Michael Cole having to eat crow for both Zack Ryder and Daniel Bryan. So until then, this is shintigercurl, that dude in the Santa hat, wishing you a Merry Christmas and wrestle on.